From Boston, welcome to Off the Bench.
Everybody, and welcome to Off the Bench. I'm your host, Hannah Hill. Today I'm joined by Tristan DeChains and Leon Liu. We have got a lot on the show for you today, including thoughts on the Warriors potentially missing the playoffs, and whether or not the San Francisco 49ers are the best team in the NFL. However, we begin tonight with the World Series last night. The Nationals forced Game 7 against the Astros. Guys, what is your takeaway from last night?
I've got to say, this postseason, it's been weird. The Nationals have been on a run, and I'm happy that it's going to finish with a Game 7. For me, it couldn't have finished off the baseball season any other way. Game 7 of the World Series. It's what every fan wants. It's what everyone in baseball wants. I'm really pumped that we got a Game 7. But I got to talk about the story of this postseason for the Nationals, and that's Steven Strasburg. Guy's been absolutely dealing. He's 5-0, unbeaten in this postseason. He has a 2.51 ERA in this World Series, and he has been absolutely lights out. That changeup of his, keeping the Astros hitters off balance, as well as that two-seam fastball, which has done a great job at jamming the Astros hitters. He just had that little hiccup early last night where he left the slider up. But other than that, he was dominant. 8 1/3 innings. I don't know how you take this guy out. Like, just for a pride and a legacy game, like, you let him go complete game in the World Series. You let him do that if you're the Nationals. So that's the only thing that I had last night that I was like, come on, like, let Strasburg finish out the night. Let him have that complete game. Maybe if he gives up a hit, then you take him out. That's kind of what my coaching philosophy would be. Ride him until he gives up a hit, and then take him out. But last night it was just a dominant pitching performance from him.
And I think that tonight is gonna be definitely the game of the year. With this is the first time in a Game 7 in World Series that we have two Cy Young pitchers that is playing against each other in Max Scherzer and Zach Greinke. And what I think is that why the National, I would say, is favored in this is that they have Juan Soto and Anthony Rendon coming in smoking hot.
Those guys have been on fire.
They're piping hot right now. Last night, Juan Soto hit the go-ahead run that put the net up for good. He's just an electric hitting machine with a lot of power.
Love Soto.
Oh,
Let
yeah.
the kids play.
Definitely. And he's taken over the series right before our eyes, and I think he's going to take over the game tonight for the Nationals. And Rendon has been dominating, coming off a 5 RBI game. He accounted for 5 of the scores last night, and I think he's going to build off that tonight, and he's been making great contact in the postseason.
Yeah, and Rendon, he's really been a model of consistency for the Nationals throughout this postseason. I feel like whenever they need a hit and Rendon's up to bat, you kind of expect him to come through. He's been that guy.
He's been clutch
for them this
throughout
postseason.
the postseason.
Yeah, he's definitely been that clutch guy that they've needed, and Soto's been it as well. So they're just getting really good production. Let me tell you who's not consistent. I'm sorry, I have to do this. Justin Verlander. This guy, I don't know. Is he the Kershaw of the AL? He might be. He's 1-4 in the postseason this postseason. He's winless in career World Series appearances, 0-6. His combined World Series ERA over his career, 6.62. I mean, we have to start talking about Justin Verlander, and he may in fact be the Kershaw of the AL. Big games, World Series games, when you need your ace to come in, shut the other team down, get you a win, he just hasn't been able to do it. And it feels weird because I saw these numbers and I didn't really think that Verlander has been this bad for the Astros or throughout his career in these games. I feel like he's always been a really good pitcher. So it surprised me. It surprised me.
And I think that the Astros are really coming into this with a lot of disadvantage for the bottom of their lineup has not been getting any hit against the Nationals. And by the time they get back on top of their lineup, there's no RBI opportunity, which should benefit Scherzer, who is pretty rested up.
Right, yeah. Shirts are going tonight against Zach Greinke. I mean, personally, everything points to the Nationals winning tonight. But something just doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel right for me.
Oh, you're going to back out now? Come on now.
No, I'm just saying, everything points to the Nationals, but I just can't imagine that we'll go an entire World Series where a home team doesn't win a single game. So I'm picking the Nationals, but there's definitely some skepticism going on there for me, for sure.
Well, we're certainly going to find out tonight.
Moving on to the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers are off the A-7-0 start, leading by their dominant defense and an emerging Jimmy Garoppolo. Guys, are they really the best team in the NFL?
Oh, for sure, certainly. Their defense is like revamped. In 2018, they allowed like a 105 passer rating. Well, this year that number dropped down to 62. They arguably have like the best front seven like in football. If you look at who they have D Ford, DeForest Buckner, and Solomon Thomas, who was a third pick from like a year ago. And then Nick Bosa is really coming in as like, he is not making an argument for Rookie of the Year. He's making an argument for Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. In 7 games, he had 20 tackles, 3 sacks, and 7 sacks. He had 3 sacks against Carolina in the first half. And did you guys see the pick he had?
That was an impressive pick. That was an athletic play.
He doesn't play like a rookie. He doesn't play like a rookie. He plays like a veteran and like just so poised and aggressive coming off the edge. And
I don't know what they're feeding those Bosas and Watts, but I might need some of it because those guys are absolute beasts. And, you know, the 49ers, they've gotten off to a great start. I certainly didn't expect them to be undefeated at this point in the season, but unfortunately, the obvious answer is that the Patriots are the best team in the NFL.
Nope.
I mean, they have the best defense in the NFL. They're first, they give up 7.6 points per game. Are you serious? Second in total yards, second in pass yards, 4th against the rush. They have a plus 17 turnover ratio. This team makes plays, and the reason they make plays is because they're disciplined and well coached by Bill Belichick. 19 interceptions. 19 interceptions right now. This is unbelievable. McCourty has 5 picks himself. And I know their offense hasn't looked great, but the fact of the matter is they still have Tom Brady. He can still get it done despite having 2/5 of an offensive line available to him.
Who have you guys played this year, man?
What do you mean?
I'm reading here. You guys played the 3-4 Steelers, the winless Dolphins, the Jets twice, the Redskins, Giants, Bills, Browns. I mean, the best record of those teams is the Steelers, which has like a 3-4 record.
Okay.
So
what do you play the teams in front of you? That's all you can do. They're 8-0. They forced 19 turnovers. They're allowing 7.6 points per game. I don't care what team you're going against. This is the NFL we're talking about. That is absolutely incredible. Their defense is historic at this point in the season, and they're on track to be a historic defense.
If they can keep this thing up in the next 5 weeks, because you guys got Ravens, Philadelphia, Cowboys, Texans with Deshaun Watson, and Kansas City, at that point which Mahomes should come back. If you guys can keep up this defense against like those teams, then I'll be impressed. But until then, like,
look,
no. Well, no.
But okay, first of all, most of those teams aren't what we thought that they were going to be. Most of those teams are a lot worse than they actually are. So honestly, I'm confident in the Patriots going through that stretch with maybe 1 or 2 losses, and they finish the season 14-2. But here's why I like the Patriots. They adapt so well. They were an offensive team for so long, and now since the Super Bowl last year and this entire season, they are a defensive team. They can adapt like that. Bill Belichick can adapt like that. Tom Brady can adapt like that. That's something you don't see from any other team in the NFL. And that's why I like them better than the 49ers. I like their chances to adapt more in situations when they need it.
Your quarterback has not looked the same this year.
Oh my God, he's still better than Jimmy G.
He's 42.
Oh my God.
He's in what, year
They don't have an
17?
O-line. They don't have an O-line.
I don't know. I think Tom Brady is playing at like a good enough level to win, but
So what's the problem?
I don't think he can get it done this year in the playoffs.
Oh my God. All right.
I think he's reached no quarterback have played like that.
He's
well
done
at the
it.
age
He
40.
continues to do it. So I don't understand why I keep doubting him.
Do you think that 49ers and the Patriots have a date in Miami this year in the Super Bowl?
That would be amazing. That would be beautiful.
That'd be good.
Moving on to the NBA, the Golden State Warriors have been the gold standard in the NBA for the last plus years. However, the Dubs lost superstar Kevin Durant to free agency and Klay Thomas to injury. The Warriors are 1-2 and off to a rough start. Are the Warriors in danger of missing out of the postseason?
yes, the Warriors are definitely in danger of missing out on the postseason. It seems crazy to say, and I almost can't believe that it's coming out of my mouth, because they've been dominant for the last few years. And, you know, they have Steph, Clay, Durant those years. Now, Clay's hurt, Durant's gone, no Iguodala, no Livingston, Looney has to start. I mean, it does not look good for the Warriors right now. And the problem with the Warriors is their roster is just straight up bad. Like, you can only do so much with bad players. And this will be a good year to see if Steve Kerr can somehow figure out a way to make this Warriors team competitive, because there are just not really any great players on this team besides Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell.
I mean, West is tough. The Western Conference is stacked this year.
The West
I mean,
is tough.
You have the Lakers, Clippers, Nugget, Rocket, Jazz, and Blazers, which I think have no problem, which is a lock to make the playoff. And then
Right.
I know it's a small sample size, but from what I saw, the Spurs, Mavericks, and Minnesota looks really good. But
Mavs definitely have a shot at the playoffs.
at the end of the day, if you look at Golden State, you still have 3 All-Stars on the
Oh,
roster.
do not give me that 3
You
All-Star
have 3 All-Stars on the roster. Here's the thing.
Oh my gosh.
When you went,
Are
when
you
when
serious?
you went to the finals for five straight finals, you have
I
a
can't.
2 times MVP, the unanimous league MVP. They have a shot. They have a shot. And Steve Kerr, I
course
don't
they
care.
have a
I don't care
shot.
that. I don't care they have a stacked team. Steve Kerr is an incredible coach, and I know they have not looked good in the past 3 games, but Kevon Looney and Willie Cauley-Stein is coming back.
Listen.
You have the best. You have the best shooter in the league history.
Listen.
And then there's a chance that Clay's gonna come back in I would say March, and then I have no problem seeing Golden State as a 5th or 6th seed in the West.
Okay, here's why I think the Warriors missed the playoffs. Steph is really good, right? D'Angelo Russell is really good, but Steph's not LeBron. LeBron can carry a bad team, okay? When he's healthy, he can carry a bad team. They were in the playoffs last year before he got hurt. They were going to be in the playoffs, so he's done it again. Let me just go through the starters against the Pelicans the other night. Draymond Green, who is not as good as you think he is. I swear to God, he's really not that good. People overrate him a lot. Glenn Robinson III, stinks. Steph Curry, very good. D'Angelo Russell, very good. Jordan Poole, stinks. Minus 21 against the Pelicans. Here's the bench. Marquise Chris, Spellman, Eric Pascal, Kai Bowman, Damian Lee. Damian Lee was the only player off the bench the other night with a positive plus, not minus. And if Kai Bowman is on your NBA roster, your team is just really bad, because Kai Bowman does not deserve to have an NBA roster spot at this point in his career. He's a nice G League guy that you can develop, but the fact that he's on your team getting minutes, that is an issue. That roster is just not good enough. And if only one guy off of your bench has a positive plus minus in a game where you won by a lot, you have to rely way too much on your starting 5, and those guys just aren't good enough to be consistent.
I think that people have really forgotten the greatness of Stephen Curry, and I think this is the season that he's going to remind everyone why he is the unanimous league MVP. So I know that they don't look that good right now, but when Looney and Willie Cauley-Stein comes back, I think that they'll hit a groove.
Look,
I think that there's 82 games this season. I think that everyone is just overreacting because how bad they look against the Clippers. But when you go to the finals for 5 straight years, you don't just fall off a cliff. So
you see the
I think
roster?
they'll be fine.
Look, I'm rooting for the Warriors, but that roster stinks.
We're gonna see.
That's all the time we have today for Off the Bench. Thank you so much for watching. For Tristan DeChance and Leon Liu, I'm Hannah Hill. Good night.